I will put their title company in touch with your and my title company.
Right.
And then my title company will tell me what needs to be done. Their title company will tell, you what needs to be done. And yeah, it'll be that. Yeah, that's another beauty.
Companies unite.
That's the beauty. They just say, well, we need this from you, or we need this from you, and it's like, okay, here it is. It just makes it very simple.
Yeah.
Feel free to, this is what I would suggest. You've got an agent. I always use a lawyer because, I just have.
About that, I thought, I looked up some real estate lawyers, and I don't know.
You've got an agent. You're fine.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Well, here's the thing. Wait, your real estate agent is not does not have a fiduciary responsibility in the contract between you and me.
Right.
However, I'm sure he would look at the contract and say, this looks fine. This is matching. And I'll tell you what, if he's allowed, or if you're allowed, send me a copy of your offer and I will match it completely in regards to the terms. And maybe that's a good idea. And then you can say, well, okay, so I'm paying for this now and they're paying for this. I'm paying for this and they're paying for this. And we'll just match it. And then he can say, yes, everything is matched. So what you're paying there is what you're paying here. Or, what you're paying as the seller. Or, no, what you're paying as the buyer, he's paying as the buyer. What they're paying as the seller, you're paying as the seller.
Right.
And that would then make it super, I'm not pushing everything onto you. There's a standard practice for the buyer and seller fees. And it's pretty, it has always, and it's not set in stone, but it's just the way it's always been done. Don't ask me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and even though that piece of everything you just said is a little complicated, it truly is the simplest. In my situation, the simplest way to go about it.
No,
Okay.
We want to do everything for you. That's why. That's my thing.
Yeah. I like your thing. Okay.
Cool.
So my next step then, like I said, when I get off the phone with you, I will sign. Does it in the signing software that you sent me, does it automatically tell you that I've signed, or do I?
Yeah, I'll get an email. So if I don't have an email in the next 30 minutes, I'll let you know.
Okay. And then do you need to physically visit the home before we're in agreement about all of this and nothing changes?
Yeah, so on the contract it says I have to physically visit the home and I have to do my inspection before the 20th of May. So I didn't know what. Now, if the 20th of May goes by and I say nothing, then I'm buying it as is. Now, of course, I do want to get things looked at, and I'll do it sooner than later to make sure that you're happy. But in your mind, if the property is as you have told it to me, then we're good to go. If I get up into the ceiling and there's, clear evidence of a fire, or, there's a bunch of rafters that are completely broken, or these are the things that we're looking for, like big ticket items that make sense for us to talk to you about. If we do a sewer scope and, the sewer is significantly compromised, it doesn't mean we won't buy the house, but we need to talk about how to proceed.
And that makes total sense. And I think we said before, so you are the one that comes to look at all of this, and you're not hiring your person.
No. No, because the inspectors, they produce a report that is just like now most commonly used to nickel and dime the buyer, the seller, and they don't commit. They're like, they look at the furnace and they're like, the furnace is 10 years old. I suggest you get this inspected by a certified furnace inspector. And you're like, what? I mean,
but it works.
Yeah, well, you're my inspector, and they go through. They're like, and then they go say the same for the roof. The roof is 10 years old. You should get this checked out by a certified roof person. And then they go through and say the living room outlet is cracked, and stuff. And I'm like they're good for people to give you a benchmark if you don't have a ton of experience, I think. And
I do have a copy of course. I have a copy of the inspection report.
Oh, from you when you.
Yeah.
You don't have to, but I'd love to see it. That would help me.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. That would help, and also as I mentioned to, I can't remember who I said this to, but it's in 1 year's time. We haven't done any upgrades, but nothing else has come up that need an immediate repair. So
yeah. No, if you send me that would be awesome. That would help me a ton.
I'd be glad to.
But you probably have that an understanding or remembering. You receive this really long report, and you're like, oh, should I really buy this house? You're like, oh my gosh, there's 58 things wrong.
Yeah.
But then when you move in and you still, and a month later, you're like, what were those 58 things wrong with this house?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm remembering 5 or 6 of them, and in living here, then I say, oh yeah, okay, because I think the people before me did a lot of their own improvements.